Hi, Shikha.
Hi, Ayushree.
Hello. We'll just wait for everyone to join.
Yeah.
I've also shared the Renu's link with you instead, in case there's an issue, Shikha. It's on the group. Yeah. Hi, Chitra. Good
Hello.
evening.
Hi, Shikha.
You are on mute, Shikha.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Chitra. Nice meeting you.
Same here. I've heard a lot about you.
Oh, so have I. So have I. I've been just trying to. I I don't think you know anybody from social media, but I'm trying to know a little about you with whatever you've posted, and I think
I
this is
post
a
a lot, so
yeah.
quite easy to know a lot about me from social
Uh,
media, about
with
my life, about my work. So
you know, interviewing more than 100 moms, I'm trying to like Preeti. I have met so many times, and still I'm trying to know her more. So yeah, always there's always new things to know. I'm really
Hi,
looks
excited.
like
Lucy.
she's in an
Welcome. Good
exotic
evening.
place.
Yeah.
I am in the outdoors in Bangalore. My daughter is skating. I don't
Wow,
know. Yeah, so
nice.
Lovely.
I'm at a skating ring. So yeah,
Yeah, it's her daughter
So
doesn't know that she's on the interview. Otherwise, she would be jumping in right now with her talking to everybody here.
this is like a story already for all the moms who will join us, right? How would you manage both the
Exactly.
skating as well as a life?
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think that's why, we are doing this very important and crucial topic today. And obviously, thanks to Shikha, and her entire campaign, the moment, the Mums Initiative, that also motivated us to be able to collaborate and really open Vidphone as a platform for all the mothers out there to share their stories. So we'll just wait a few minutes for Renu to join us, and then,
Preeti, I'm just going to call Renu because she's
yes,
in Australia. She time
yes,
zones are
there
always
may
good.
be. Yeah, yeah, no problem.
So the criterion for this is be a working mom.
Not really, Chitra, because again, I don't think so. My idea was really, I was telling Shikha when we were discussing the topics for these campaign. I really wanted that how not to be a super mom. I just because I just feel that concept is very flawed, and I keep telling my
Very,
own
very,
mother.
very.
Yeah, so I keep telling my own mother, and I think my mother, they would try, even more. Like nowadays, we would tell them that don't do it, and now they have improved a lot, I would say. But I was just telling Shikha, I just want to talk on the topic how not to be a super mom. And it
Absolutely.
doesn't matter, if you're not working, even at home, even if you're a homemaker, everyone accepts you to do everything, right? Like your quote really very well, you have put it right together in your quote, and we'll hear
Wow.
on that more. So that syndrome is
Uh,
something we
yeah,
really.
I'm the first one from Australia. Um, Ayushri, her Vidphone is a problem in Australia by any chance, or Australians have joined ever
Yeah,
from?
yeah, it's not a problem.
It's
She doesn't.
going blank. Her link is going blank.
No, that should not be a problem. Akil can help her. Akil is on the group. So, Akil, can you just check with Renu once, please? What's her issue?
Yes.
Yeah.
Akhil is
Yeah, I,
going to be on WhatsApp with you and help you.
yeah,
Yeah? We'll wait for you for 2-3 minutes to see what it is and then I'll call you back.
yeah.
Okay. Sure. Bye.
Yeah, Akhil has already responded here also that yes, it works because we have global, people joining us. Even last time,
It's
people.
going blank on Chrome also. She's changed the thing
Okay,
to Chrome.
browser. Akhil will just check that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And for the rest of us here, this is live on all our social media channels. That's on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. So in case you want to share it with your network who wants to join us through that, please feel free. The links are on the chat box too, the comment section. So by the time we are waiting for Renu to join, we can just quickly do that.
Yeah, it's very late for her, already 10:30.
Yeah.
No, that she said no. I can't say no to you. So she's heading a she's an
I think we
award-winning
lost Shikha
coach.
also, right? She's also frozen.
Am I frozen?
No, we can hear you well. Can
Am
you
I
hear me?
frozen, Preeti? Am I frozen now?
No, I mean, I can hear you well. I think even
Yeah.
Chitra.
Yes, yes. I'm saying Shikha is frozen.
Am I frozen? Yeah. This week, I last time I had two people interviewing and they froze and they
Yeah,
still interviewed. Um,
we can
am
see
I
you.
frozen now?
No, you are
Not.
not frozen for us, but I think Preeti is outside, so her
Yeah. Preeti is frozen
network,
for me now.
yeah, network. Preeti is frozen since some time, but because I think it's her internet, it's been shaky even on the test call. I think because she's outside, right? Yeah.
Now Chitra is frozen for me.
Am I? Oh,
Yeah, that's okay. I just keep playing. I don't know what all game. 1 second. I'm just.
Just don't keep shifting between the browsers. When you
I
guys are.
don't. I
Yeah, just
don't.
so sometimes that happens because we have so many tabs open. In case we are
yeah, that's true.
that
So what I
happens.
feel is that
Yeah.
last time when I got froze, I switched off my camera and switched it on, and I became okay.
Okay,
Um,
sometimes that
so
might be an issue.
if
Yeah. But now I can see Chitra fine, and even you are
No,
fine.
no. So what did I went to send a message on sharing it live on YouTube, and that is what
Chitra,
Okay,
just
happened.
switch
that's
off your camera and switch it on back.
You can see me, right?
I can
I
see
can
you well. I'm not sure about
I can
Shikha.
see you
Shika, you can
frozen.
see me.
I can see you frozen. Just switch off your camera and switch it on.
Okay.
Did you do that?
Can you see now?
No, I'm just frozen. That's okay.
I
Preeti
think
is back.
Shikha, that might be a problem with your this thing because I can see Chitra fine.
That's okay. I'll talk to
She can talk to
visible.
the.
Jagat is saying visible. It's okay.
Yeah.
I can talk. I will still go ahead like last time. It's okay. It could be the internet or whatever. Preeti,
Yeah.
you can hear us. You can hear me, right? Preeti
Yes.
cannot.
Yes.
Preeti, can you hear me? Preeti is in a low network
Yeah.
zone.
Yeah. Preeti is in a very network because she's I think trying to join from separate devices also.
Yeah, yeah. So Preeti is in a place I think where the network is bad.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks, Rashu. They are saying, and thanks for joining all our viewers. And
I know. We should just start anyway
yes, because
Yeah,
because
sure.
everyone can hear us is what our viewers are saying. So maybe we'll,
yeah.
figure out along
Yes,
the way.
let's we
Yes.
everybody can see us. We can talk. It's okay. Preeti, can you hear me now? Preeti, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Okay, let's start. I think Renu will join us from Australia whenever she can.
Yes.
So Ayushree, just
Yes.
start the whole
Yes.
thing.
Yes, sure. So, good evening, everyone. Firstly, thanks, Shikha, for doing this. Lovely to be on the second campaign, on in part of our entire campaign. The second show, I would say, in the Vidphone Ex Mum Mothers United Moment campaign, where the idea really is to, give a platform to all mothers to come and share their stories their way. And we have and today's one is a very interesting topic, that is moms and the art of delegation. And I would add to that how not to be a super mom. And I know this might mean different things to different people, but I just feel like this is a very flawed concept. And like Chitra asked, is it only meant for working moms? And I would say no. It's just meant for all moms, whether they are a homemaker or they are an entrepreneur or they are a leader or they are just working. But it's just that expectation, not just from the society but for the mother from herself too, that we think we should I mean, that's what we agreed, that we should come and discuss more openly. And thank you so much, Chitra, Preeti, for joining us today. And Chitra, we are having you back on the show, and really good to have you back. So I'll just start a little, Shikha, and Chitra, Preeti, by telling you guys a little about Vidphone and what we do, and then we can move on to the interviews. So at Vidphone, we are a hybrid work suite for customer generation. So we have a set of video communication tools to help you get your leads, nurture them, and turn them into customers. All in one platform. So we have so we can our platform can be used for your internal communications, that is within your teams, within your to interact with your colleagues in your office, actually once you check out the platform, and some of you might have seen it, you can actually feel like you are in a virtual office using some of the very interesting tools we have created. And when I say external communications, I mean tools to help interact with your leads, with your customers, and actually nurture them, and all based on video. So and this is just 10% of what you see here is what we do. That's the video conferencing. But there's a lot more on the customer side of things, and I would love for all of you to come to the platform and check it out and see how we all can work together. So that's where we are, and again, very excited to do this with phone show, especially where we are being able to open this platform for mothers through this campaign. And Shikha, a little bit, I would like our viewers to know about Shikha. So Shikha is a portrait photographer by profession and the founder of Mum, the Mothers United Movement. We have been lucky to find Shikha on one of our Vidphone shows where she had come as a guest, and doing this today together on a shared mission is very interesting. So thanks, Shikha. Chitra is the chief mentor and the founder of SalesWomentoring. So that is a group, a platform for women in sales. And we see, I think we see very less women in sales, right? Chitra will hear from you more on that. But very it's very key what you are doing, the space that you are in. And we hope to it's a beautiful community that Chitra has built, and all of us who know Chitra knows that. Yeah, and Preeti, thanks a lot for joining us. Preeti is a project manager at Microsoft. So again, all of you from very different backgrounds, but the common connect is that all of you are moms. And today our topic is, on how the art of delegation for moms. And so I would hand it over to Shikha to, Shikha, please do, share your thoughts on it before we move on to take. And I am, by the way, I just forgot to introduce myself. I'm Ayushree, and I'm leading the business side of things at Vidphone as Associate VP Business. So very happy to be connected. And thank you to all our viewers who have joined us today. Yeah, looking forward to a great session ahead, guys.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Vidphone, Ayushree, Jagat. Jagat has joined us here as well, and Chitra and Preeti, especially when you were with the skating thing and you said yes to come on, because I couldn't think of, that's what I was saying, Chitra, I need to know a little more. And I'm sure I've read some posts about her at work and mom at work, and very passionate about how to do this. And it's been incredible reading about you, Chitra. And Preeti, knowing her as a mom in the book that I had released called 100 Self-Portrait, 100 Dreams, and meeting her in person. And also meeting her beautiful daughter and pulling it off as a single mom. I had to bring her on the thing to talk about it. So Renu should be joining us. She's 10:30 in the night for her, but yet she's another person who teaches moms. She's a mompreneur who teaches moms how to do this, the delegation bit. Preeti, because your network keeps going and coming, I will start with you so that at least if we have to take out clips and we have the conversation going. we will
Yes.
take it. And what we're doing is we're going to have quick, short questions
Yes.
running around, and try to keep it like short, because we want to keep your valuables, comments going out in reels and everything. And if they're very long, we can't pull it out for people to know you better, and your message going out. So starting, like, if this whole word delegation, for you, Preeti, when you hear, I'm sure, I you hear it, you know it. When the word delegation comes to your way, does it stress you out, or does it feel very natural for you to delegate and to balance it out? And when you started it, I'm sure you practiced it over a period of years and
Yes.
it's become better. But when you
Yes.
first heard the word delegation, delegate this or do this, and being a single mom, it just was something that you had to do. Um, what did it bring to you? Because most mothers can relate to it. And then, how did you? Part one question is that, and how did you first the first step that can go
Mhm.
out to mothers as an inspiration to step into it?
Absolutely. I think it did not come organically to me, Shika, because you are at the space where you want to do everything by yourself. But the key here is to delegate is, I think you should know your circle of trust,
Right.
especially with your kids, especially with being a single mom. I think uh, identify and do your research on finding your circle of trust, because they are the people who you can happily ask for favors, and then you can go back to them again and again shamelessly, but then you know that they will be there for you. So first, I think my biggest piece is identify those pieces. For me, it's my family, it's my friends. It's one friend who is like my 3 a.m. friend, who I can call anytime and say I need this favor, or I have a late night meeting, I need to get somewhere, so can you watch my daughter? And I think also delegating back to your kids. My daughter is a great support system for me right now, because she understands where I need help. She understands where she can extend her expertise, where she can give me her piece of advice as well. So I think for me right now, delegating things to her is also a great way of being sane.
Yeah. And she's all of 8, I think.
She's 10 right now.
She's 10 right now, because she's as old as my son. So I remember interviewing you almost a year and a half back. Things were not different. A year and a half back,
Yes,
also, you were talking about she supporting you, she's helping you with your studies, she's helping you and saying, "Hey, I'll take care of the stuff." And
absolutely.
she's gorgeous when it comes to that. But I think there is a piece of making her understand why you're delegating, and keeping her with you in the speed of the whole balancing act, rather than trying to do it all by
All by
yourself,
me. Yeah,
and then figuring it out that she wouldn't understand it at a very young age. And I see that, I see the advantage of that, of she coming forward, and uh, you know making things happen with you, for herself, and excelling in so many things. So thank you for that, Preeti. I'm going to go to Chitra with the same question, because this is a very important question, and she's leading in this space as well, and she talks about sales. And she, most mothers will have in the whole thing that we can't do sales because we have kids. And how do we uh, how do we do that? So how do you deal with that when a mom comes to you, and or how did you do it yourself first, so that you could take it out there? What were the things that were stopping you or were encouraging you to do it?
So the first thing I did was that I took the decision to have a child when I was completely ready for it. So I think a lot of women, we get pushed into this decision, or maybe influenced or coerced or driven to societal pressure. I had my daughter nearly 10 years after we were married. By that time, I was pretty settled in my career. I was earning pretty well. We had bought a house and a car, and all the career aspirations which I had been met. So that is one piece of advice I would give to all women. Make sure that you make conscious and intentional choices about your career, and make sure that when you do have a baby, you are set and comfortable in your career, enough to be able to afford reliable childcare in case your family is not able to step in, enough to be able to negotiate both at work and at home for you to continue in your job. Often, when our monetary contribution is not enough, it doesn't make any sense to continue to work because the cost of nanny, childcare, daycare, etc., are too much. And it doesn't make economic sense. And therefore, I would say to all women, put yourself in a position financially, economically, as well as emotionally, in a space where you're ready for the child and you have the financial control and the financial worth in order to be able to afford help for your child. So that's the first thing. The how did I manage? Well, it was a non-negotiable option for me as far as my career was concerned. After I did my MBA, since I had a marriage in which I married my friend, so it was a little bit easier. Though we hadn't discussed it and negotiated it, I think the girls nowadays are far smarter. But it was pretty clear that my career was as important as his. And how did we manage when she was small, when I had to move? In fact, the mobility issue is one which all women talk about: marriage, mobility, motherhood. And the third one, 50% of women quit at the age of 30 for motherhood, and marriage and mobility follow. And for me, when it was the question of mobility, when I was transferred to Chennai in ICICI Bank on a promotion, I said yes. And I went back and I told my husband that I need to move to Chennai, and I will take the baby with me, and you can come and visit us whenever you, if that's okay with you. And he said, fine, I can do it on weekends and I'll talk to my company. He was in Cisco, and if they can transfer me. And finally, he got a transfer. So we were quite okay with making the decision to take the child with me. And we called on his parents, my father, all for support. So turn by turn, they came and stayed with us. And of course, my husband finally moved. So it worked out. So the second piece of advice, the first, of course, is to take the decision to have a baby as and when you're financially, emotionally ready. The second is, of course, that when you get opportunities like this, don't say no. Say yes, and then work it out with your family, work it out with your support system, your spouse, your partner. I'm lucky, I would say, that I had, a partner to rely on. If you're single, then you need to really draw upon the support of your family, your mom, your sisters, your friends, as Preeti said, your entire ecosystem to be able to step in. And there were times when I had to travel late on sales calls or travel out of town. And at that time, my sister did step in. She is still my 3 a.m. friend, my elder sister.
Right. So the common thing between both of you is the 3 a.m. friend is a must,
Yeah.
and that's where we rely on. And that 3 a.m. friend could be our sister, our friend, our neighbor, our whoever we trust a lot. Um, so you know, this is like, it sounds amazing and very sorted, Chitra. And I have a question now for both of you: is that the guilt is very real. The guilt
Yes.
of leaving the child behind and moving forward is very, very real for a mother.
Yes.
How do you deal with that? So, Preeti, to tell me, how do you, like, initial, now she's grown up, especially when you're leaving young kids behind, and then their puppy eyes are there. Sometimes their cries are there. Sometimes they really, really need us, and both the sides is like so heavy that and the work front has to be made as a choice. And then how did you deal with that guilt? Did you do some self work? Did you step in talking to some people? How do you solve it, or did you try to solve it on your own when it came to the mom guilt, which I think all of us are gifted with when we start leaving children behind and delegating the job?
Yeah, I think I'll take that first.
Yeah.
Exactly where you need to stop being the super mom, prioritize what you need to do at that point. I think I was taking each day by itself, one day at a time. One day it was a great day, the other day everything came in together, so I prioritized that particular moment what required me. If my daughter required me, I'll take that call that particular time. So I think, yeah, being super mom will not help if you're doing things half-heartedly. So yeah, there are days where you have to hustle. That hustle is always there, but prioritize. If your kid is important that particular minute, leave everything and take that call.
Right. Yeah, it's once they come in our lives, there's always this thing. But I've spoken to so many women across the world, and some of them whose children are now very old as well, and the mom guilt has still not gone out of their lives, of that particular day, of that day when I do. So it there definitely sometimes comes back for many, if not for few, who have sorted it out. And I personally feel it doesn't organically again comes. You have to really
Yeah.
realize it, and you really have to work that why are you feeling guilty? Is your child safe? If everything is okay, you've sorted it out, it's grown out of the stage, and that's the best thing for the child's future and for your future. So, Chitra, what do you say about the mom guilt word that comes, and when you meet moms in the world of business with that guilt, how do you support them when you move forward with it?
Mom guilt is real. So I tell them with mom love comes mom guilt. So the minute there is a
Right.
child, both come together. You can't get rid of it, and you need to make sure that you do things which are maybe not perfect, but which are the best you can do in that particular situation. It may not always be the best. Your house may not look like straight out of Architectural Digest, or maybe one day you don't do the dusting, or maybe one day you give the child Maggie and don't worry about whether you're giving a nutritious meal to your child, or one day you call in at work and say, yes, I will not be able to come in at this time, I'll come in a little late. So there are times when you've got to juggle, and you've got to make sure that the balls you have in your hand are the most important balls, right? So that if at all you need to drop some balls, the balls which you drop are the not so important ones. So just one example I'll give you, that my daughter had her 10th board exams, and all the moms around me told me, oh, are you going to take leave 3 months, 4 months? And I didn't take leave because I was heading the transformation project in my bank, and I could not afford to take leave. So I dropped her at her exam center at 9 a.m. and reached office by 9:30. Our office used to start at 8:30. And then similarly went back, dropped her back home, but I live close to the office, so that was possible. And then went to office. And I had already spoken to my manager about it, and he knew about it. Similarly, in ICICI Bank, I used to go home to feed the baby when she was a very small baby. So organizations need to understand that women who are in this stage in their lives, they need a lot of flexibility and they need a lot of support, and also maybe a buddy at work, a mentor at work, who is preferably a woman who understands. And in ICICI, fortunately, I had that. In my other bank also, I had that, where they were women leaders. And so the more women leaders you have, the issues concerning us, for example, pregnancy, childbirth, baby, guilt, etc., are more understandable, and they are more they're brought to the forefront, and people do
Right.
something about it. Flexibility is the key, and the freedom to
Right.
work from where you want and how you want, as long as you complete the task. In those days, 30 years back, there was no mobile, no internet, no laptop, nothing. Things are still easier. I'm not saying moms have it easy. I'm saying
Right.
technology has enabled a certain amount of conveniences and ease, which in those days we used to go up and down from office.
Right.
But how do you manage? You manage by not being perfect at it all. You manage by not trying to do it all. You manage by delegation, as we are going to talk about, and you manage by drawing on your support system. And the days you feel that you're close to burnout, you talk to a friend or a buddy at work or home, your 3 a.m. friend, but you let it out and take some time out for self care. A lot of moms, I think, neglect that part of it. And I used to make that a non negotiable part of my routine, which is my exercise schedule. Otherwise, you again don't take time out for yourself. And nowadays, despite the fact that she's 21, I take time out for singing. No one is supposed to disturb me at the time. I shut my door and I sing for an hour and I exercise for an hour. Taking time out for doing things for yourself makes you come back to your work and family life with more energy.
Right. Thanks for that. And yeah, it's just I'm sitting at a front that I have like 100 shades of mothers. I've interviewed 100 shades, and I keep interviewing, and this attracts so many shades that I'm always standing up for different shades as well. And like the first intention of this project was dropping all judgments again, whichever place I find them absolutely thinking they're super moms, or I find them at a place where they've learned the delegation, and I find them at a place where there's no self care, and then I find them at a place where they are promoting self-care and going forward, taking other women with them. So having such shades, and then I have ranged from 100-year-old to the youngest being 26. So that's quite a range of mums, you know. We just like when you talk about super, and like I'm interviewing a 102-year-old now on 31st, and getting her in the book. Um, and so generation, it's the generations that I have interviewed, right? And the trend I see between a 90-year-old talking to a 27-year-old is the good thing is that we are going towards self-care, and we are going towards um, learning, and I think more than that, communicating and asking for help, which mostly women a certain age couldn't. And it was a myth that I was thinking that it was only in India. Actually, it was world over. When I started this project, a lot of myths about the fact this just happens in India. You know, women abroad, they have 5 kids and they can do it. And nothing like that. They were equally in a big soup as much as we were in when I was talking to them. And then, of course, we have variety. And why I'm speaking about it, we have variety of domestic violence. We have variety where there is, you know, childhood rape, molestation, that kind of a trauma carrying in their heads. From that to becoming leaders and having a problem being a leader, and then dealing with all that stuff as well. So in between that, we're a mother, and then this supermom tag just keeps coming back to our thing. We can do this, we can do that. So I'm very grateful that you all are mentioning this thing. But what if you met a mother, and this is a question from somebody who sought it to a person who, like, what if you met me and I said I don't think I can delegate? Like, if I can't delegate because I'm always torn between uh, and you know, that I want to take them to an age, but at the same time I'm a photographer of a, I've done a lot with my delegation and everything, but I'm just giving you an example. What if you meet somebody, because at a point I was called an obsessed mother. I was called this mother who was a photographer, a very well known photographer, trying to do everything on herself, not because of anything else, but because of my own childhood stuff that I couldn't solve. And I was trying to resolve that and see that in a child, and I got stuck. At that time, when people used to come and talk to me about self care, I was just like, I don't know what you're talking about. I just don't know, because I'm stuck here. I don't know what you're talking about self care, and I don't know what you're talking about delegation. I'm my inner child is struggling with raising this child because of the trauma of my childhood, trying to engage with this child that's come into my lap right now. And many get stuck there. So if you have any advice, if you like, for me, the solution was start dreaming again. Start from there.
Right.
Start just by not denying the dream, you know. Nobody's telling you. And I dreamt 100 mothers, 100 inspiring stories across the world, and I'll bring them together and blah 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 blah. It just get on and on and on. And I brought them to India. We launched a big thing. um, but that was my solution that came out, because I didn't understand the word self-love and self-care and self-time, because I was raising these 2 boys and was labeled as an obsessed mom. And of course, I learned a lot more, and I'm learning still. So, what would you say when you meet mothers like that, when they need support and they don't understand the word self care, they don't understand the word delegation? How do you talk to
I'll
them?
take that first. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, please.
I asked them two questions. Two questions. One is that, do you believe in your deservability? Do you believe that you deserve success? Do you
Right,
believe that your ambitions and your dreams and your aspirations are important? And if so, what are you willing to give up for that? Because you will have to make certain choices and you cannot
right,
do everything. And those choices will have consequences. So, how important are those dreams? First of all, do you actually believe in your dreams and do you believe that you deserve success? Second is, how
right,
important is it and what are you willing to give up for that? And
right.
that could be a parent teacher meeting, it could be a sports day. Maybe you can't attend all sports days, maybe, or you go in at the time when the awards are happening, so you see the prize distribution ceremony. You don't go in for the entire day. But there are choices and there are consequences. Your daughter may turn around or son may turn around and say, Mom, you were not there watching me run. But I was there, baby. I was there for your award. So there are choices. Believe in
Right.
your deservability, understand
I
what is
like.
important, make those choices. And the last thing which I tell people is that if you have a daughter, you ask yourself, is this decision right for my daughter? If I'm going to quit, would you have asked your daughter to quit? Or would you have thought it's the right decision for her to quit her job, to take a lower salary, to take part time, to take up a part-time offer? Do you think that that does justice to her talent and her abilities, or would this not have been the right decision for your daughter? Most of them say, I want my daughter to achieve the highest potential she has, and I want her to be the best version of herself. So if so, then what are you teaching her? That your career is not important, that you don't need to prioritize it, or it is okay to take a backseat in your career? What are you telling her through your actions and your words today? And that is what is going to impact her mind. Like you talked about the inner child, and I don't even want to guess, or I can't even imagine what the trauma must have been. But the fact is, mothers are role models for their daughters, and the minute they
Right.
see a strong independent woman who's capable of taking her own decisions, 80%, 90% of the time they turn out to be strong independent women. And that is the legacy we need to leave behind for our daughters and sons. And that is our responsibility as mothers, to
Absolutely.
enable our children to see and experience a more equal world than what we have.
True.
And
No,
with that, the guiding
that's
light for all my decisions. What is it I want to leave behind for my daughter? I am not
beautiful.
saying homemakers are not contributing. Of course they are. And it's unpaid and maybe thankless work. But at the same time, what do I want her to see and what do I want her to be? And if she can't see me being that, how can I expect her to be that?
Right.
So that's what
Yeah,
guiding.
that's the whole project. We brought out stories so that to start with your stories first, to be able to broad shouldered stand up and tell your stories,
Yes.
because that release is very important. Without any shame, guilt, you can tell your stories openly and say just the way she wants. I always say that the mothers must tell their story the way they want to, not the way the world wants to hear, right?
Yes.
And that is where the supermom label also goes out, because the world wants them to tell them the supermom story of their achievement, but she doesn't feel that anyway, and she wants to take it out. So then when these 100 moms came out to tell their stories, I felt what you're just saying is going to contribute to the second step of deservable. I love the word deservability, because most mothers probably hide and in their own way, and they don't feel now they deserve to step out back, or if they've taken a sabbatical or whatever. So the deservability is a beautiful contribution to this conversation. And so is, if you have daughters. I have sons, but if you have daughters, and you can project yourself in them and see what you would tell them. Preeti, what is uh, you know what is that thing that you would tell a mom when you meet, and you've met some of us, and you
Yeah.
saw, uh, what is it that you would say to that mother who just doesn't understand this language of
Yes.
self-love, and doesn't understand the language of take a break, stop it, go
Yeah.
back to your career?
I think, yeah, it's, you maybe she hasn't seen that there is another side, there is light on the other side. She's been living in a space where hasn't spoken to. I think being a mentor or a buddy to somebody, like someone who wants help, is a great space to start with. And for me, to be honest, initially, for the first 5 years of being a single mom, I did not ask for help. But then one day, when I actually went back to my manager and I had to claim that, yes, I am a single mom and I need help and I need this and I need that, that's, I think, a breakthrough. Once you get that breakthrough, and once you see reciprocation from the other side, you will say it is fine, and it's okay to be vulnerable, it's okay to be a real mom, it's all right to be an intentional mom. So I'll say, to that mom who's still in that space, find yourself a mentor, a buddy, somebody who can say, I can be your, I can be in your circle of trust. And then maybe from there we can start, because somebody helped me somewhere as well. So I'm thankful for them as well. But yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Already helping through these reels. The reason I'm probing these questions is so that through these reels and through these little short clips, we can reach out to the ears and say. And so I'm very grateful to both of you doing that. Ayushri, would you like to take the questions on, because you can take now, and I can go on because this is my favorite topic anyway. So I can just, and they both have given such beautiful answers that I can just talk to them forever. But Ayushri will wrap it up because we want it to be a 45 minutes to a 50-minute thing where
Sure.
people can actually see the replay of it. So Ayushri, over to you to ask questions to them, me, whoever, however you want to take it.
You're on mute, Ayushri.
You're on mute. No. Just like tech enables, it also adds to the inconveniences many times, right?
Chitra, if you
Enable
would have
as
seen,
well as a barrier sometimes.
you would have seen me in my 100 interviews. I think Preeti knows it. My first line is, I don't know what's happening. There's some echo happening, and I'm going to make just a reel out of
Technical glitch.
Yeah, she's back.
the
She's
technical glitch
back.
every
Yeah,
time.
we
And it
can't hear
takes me
you.
100 episodes to not even solve it. And when it comes, I'll make a reel out of it, of all beginning of the interviews.
Yeah, the bloopers. Yeah, behind the scenes bloopers. That will be more funny, right?
Oh,
Can you
yes,
hear
yes.
me? Can you hear me? All interviews and all Zoom meetings start with this. Can you hear me? Can you see me? And I
So
now
let me,
start meetings
yeah,
with,
yeah,
can
yeah.
you see me?
Let me take,
I'm Mrs. India. Invisible One,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mr. India movie, like that. Just
Yes.
hear me, don't see me.
So Ayushri, we can't hear her, but I will take over Ayushri, and I will ask this last question. Generally, Ayushri does ask.
Yeah, am
She has come
I
back.
now?
Yeah,
Yeah, we
she's
can
back.
hear you. Yeah, Ayushri, you can go ahead.
Hello.
Yes.
We can hear you, Ayushri. Okay, let me take these questions because we will still have our clippings, and I can see Preeti's daughter is about to jump into the conversation if her practice is over. I love talking to her anyway. So the general wrap up is that to the audience, if you have to give 3 tips, right? We've already spoken about not being a super mom. Are you there?
Uh,
She there's some network issue. So if there are 3 tips, because we will again make out short clips out of these things, if there are
yeah.
three tips
Can you please hear me?
that, yeah, Jayashree, you're there?
She keeps saying yes, yes, but I don't know whether she can hear
Yeah.
us.
I think there has to be a short clip of this. I'm me saying a sentence, and are you there? And maybe
Yeah, are
something
you there? Are
happening.
you? Right.
Yeah.
I'm here,
Yeah.
Shikha.
Yeah, I think
um,
we just got a minute or two, so very quickly, I will go ahead and the three tips
Give
would
me,
be
I usually let me just take over. 3 tips from both of you about um, Supermon label to not be pulled out. I think it's many people, many women hold it. It's the only thing that they have for this, for their mental wellness. That I'm a super mom, and I can do all that. But 3 tips that you would like to give, and individually you can start, Preeti, because you are leaving. I think.
Yeah. Thanks, Shilpa, for uh, really putting those questions, Chitra and Preeti. We have Renu in this session, and hopefully we can have her back towards the end, or probably next time.
not here,
I
right?
think
Not able to
always
hear
it was not
clearly.
under our control, and she's having some problems because she is in Australia. Yeah, we'll have you with us next time. So, Chitra, nothing much. I just wanted to know, so you guys have talked a lot on delegation, on how, consciously women have to seek help, ask for help. So, Chitra, three takeaways, that you want to tell, you want to give away on this, like takeaway for any kind of mom that you'd like to inspire.
Yeah, the first one is, of course, don't try to be perfect at everything. The second one is, don't believe the supermom tag. This whole tag of, oh, you are so good at everything. You are, good at managing the home. You can multitask. Supermom, multitasking, good at everything. This is not possible. It is an impossible word. So don't believe what people say,
Yeah.
and don't give in to, I call them SEVI, societal pressure, expectations, need for validation, and fear of isolation. These are the four reasons which
Yeah.
make us do certain things. And of course, our own conditioning and the whole transfer through intergenerational transfer of gender roles and responsibilities, where we assume that we are primary caregivers. Give up all this, just unlearn everything, wipe it off from your mind, and do not assume that only your partner or husband is the primary breadwinner and you're the primary caregiver. The roles can be reversed, and if that person doesn't understand it, then maybe you need to ask them. And there is no such thing as somebody is good at something and somebody is an expert. We didn't come born with a parenting guide or a housekeeping guide, right? We learned it along the way. Similarly, for men, they can learn it along the way. And as long as you ask for equal division and clear delineation of responsibilities, who is to do what, and that's where delegation comes in. Clearly outline which task is to be done by who, at what frequency, how do we follow up for that, communicate clearly what are the tasks to be done, and learn to take help from your entire family, even your kids. Don't try to do everything yourself. Don't try to be perfect, and don't give in to societal expectations, is what I would say. And unlearn your unproductive habits of trying to dust everything. Unlearn your past, and unlearn
It's
your
about dusting. There is something about dusting.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
unlearn everything and relearn
Yeah.
the new age mom. The new age
Yeah.
mom chills with her children also, and at the same time is able to get her work done. You can see Preeti doing that. She's getting her daughter to the skating as well as on this. So it is possible many times to balance, but at the same time, don't try to be perfect.
I love that
Live
you're
up to
gone
somebody
so.
else's standards, because you can never they cannot decide and they cannot define whether you're a good mom or a bad mom. Nobody else's benchmarks and definitions matter but your own. You do your best every single day, which every mom does,
Yeah.
and do it consciously and do it intentionally, and I'm sure it'll turn out right. When you see your daughter or son at 21, strong, independent, bold, brave, you've done the right thing. Maybe in the immediate short term, you will not know whether it's turned out right, but in the long term, and believe me, my daughter's 21, and so I know now. Now I know that whatever I did has enabled her to say today that I don't need a man to buy me diamonds. Mom, I can buy my own diamonds. If she's that strong and that independent, I think I've done the right thing. So, all those who are somewhere along the way wondering if they are doing the right thing, don't wonder, because we are here to leave a legacy and we are here to make a difference and teach our daughters and sons the right values of equality and respect for both genders, and the importance of everybody being able to do everything. Cooking, looking after babies, it's not merely a woman's job. Parenting is a joint responsibility. So is housekeeping, and so is raising a family with the right values. It's a joint responsibility.
Thanks, Chitra. And I think you've written literally a book in this 5 minutes thing. There are such amazing
Yes.
nuggets in
Telling me
these.
very
There were so.
politely, I talked a lot.
No, I'm just saying that there were so many nuggets here. I thought,
Yeah,
oh,
Yes.
hold
exactly.
on, we can expand on that one and we can expand on that one. There's, so thank you
Yeah.
so much for those, because there were so many nuggets. I was like, look, the reel is going to be there and on that one.
Roko
So
Roko, good one.
Lot of key
thank you
takeaways.
for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Thank
Lot
you
of.
for that. Yeah, I should go on for
No, I was just
because
saying a lot of key takeaways. Like, when you said it sounded like a book, taking
yeah,
out the important parts and Chitra just put it
it's a
together.
5 minute book reading. Yeah, it was a 5 minute book reading
No,
for Chitra.
Make
thanks.
this an ebook. I'll make this an ebook.
Yeah.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah.
I think Preeti needs to leave also soon,
Yes. So
so we
Preeti,
need to take Preeti on.
yes. Preeti, so same question. I don't know if I know there might have been a lag in the question I was asking, but
No, no. I took two
yes,
key takeaways.
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Like,
So I absolutely echo. what Chitra says, but then I also know that for a mom who's struggling, it is important for them to be present in that particular space, be aware, and I think take baby steps. I mean, you cannot get somewhere too fast. It's going to be an emotional drain, a physical drain. So take baby steps is what I will suggest, and also thinking about what Shikha said, right? That some people like that validation of being a super mom, because they've earned it. Great. I think that is stage one where you need that validation. At least they're getting acknowledged. I'm happy that at least people are understanding that I'm doing a lot of things. That's an important piece for somebody to get somewhere. And to be honest, right now, I am at stage two, maybe, where I do not need validation. But I was at that space where at least people were acknowledging and reciprocating that, yes, I'm doing things, I'm doing two people's jobs. So I feel that's okay, that to be in that stage at that particular time. And then when you gradually grow, you understand, you become wiser. I think then you get to the other stages where you don't need that tag. You do not need somebody to call you that supermom. But yeah, I think take it easy, take it slow. It is not a rush. It's all a journey. That's important. So yeah, just have fun in that journey is another thing that I do. I make sure that I take out time for myself, do my girl trips, have a drink, go out, dance it out, come back to do whatever I have to do the whole week. But yeah, don't make it a drill. Just have fun on the way.
Yeah.
Right. No, it's a beautiful thing. Both of you are just incredible in what you're saying,
Yes.
um, and the fact that we have so many shades is my mission, to bring all of
Yeah.
them on stage so that nobody feels lesser than. No contribution of any mother is, no matter which kind of mother, the contribution is happening in every way, either to the society, either to the change that's coming in, or to the children, or the future children, or the present children. She is constantly contributing. And just to start bringing that up to the surface of the variety and the shades that we have, and hold hands with each shade and say, wherever you are, whatever you are doing, let me just hold your hand, give you a hug because you're a mom. And that's good enough right now to begin with. And with that kind of compassion and empathy, if we can just start embracing, more will step into self-love, more will step into
Yeah.
communities,
Yeah.
more will step into their dreams. And you guys are absolutely an example of doing that. So Ayushri,
Yeah.
up to you, or to
Yeah.
wrap it up. Jagat is here if you want to just
Yeah.
take a quick, because I can see these women have, like, especially Preeti has to leave now.
Yes. Yeah. No, I think very well said, Chitra and Preeti, and both of you, have touched a key point where Chitra also said unlearn,
Yeah.
and and be today. What's needed today. It's okay.
Yeah.
You can relearn those things, and like Preeti said, there are stages, and stages on this journey, and I'm sure today, hearing both of you, there would be mums, who must have been inspired to come and share their story or take a step in their life. And that's the entire point about why we are here, the community, as a community, why we are here today on this platform, on this show, so that you guys can share your learnings as a mom, in your respective journeys, and really inspire other moms to do the same, from your this thing. Obviously it might not be the same for everyone, but in the sense that give them that courage to speak up. Sometimes I think that's all they need. So thanks a lot, Chitra and Preeti, for beautifully telling us your stories. It has been a pleasure listening to you both. And Shikha, thanks as always for doing this, and so wonderfully. Yeah, I would invite Jagat to come and share a few words with us on how why as a platform we believe in this mission. And Jagat, over to you.
Well, thanks again. It's such a good learning for me, just sitting back and listening to all of this stuff, because we don't go through this stuff, right? So I can just kind of learn whatever I can. Uh, I must say, this is a start. What I heard from the first episode, also, some people who watched it, I think it was something very different. I want to thank Shikha and Ayushri for getting this off. Uh, I think it's like as you go into a jungle, you begin to figure out the way. You can't really see the exit from where you're standing. So I think this is going to take some really nice kind of direction as we go forward more. I'm already getting some super inputs from some folks, which I'll share with you also.
Yeah.
So, really happy to be here. I'm really, again, Preeti as well. First time I think I'm meeting. So
Yeah.
wonderful to have you with us, Chitra, again. Thanks again for coming. And Shikha as always. Yeah. Super.
No,
I want to keep this brief. I know all of you have to leave.
no, thanks, Jagat. And yes, so with that, I think, Shikha, we come to today's end, and we have got some amazing inputs. Like Shikha has been saying from the beginning, we really want to reshare this so that it reaches many more people. So, I think we have gotten these by these wonderful conversations. So, we would be putting a lot of that out. So, Chitra, Preeti, request you guys to also reshare those into your network so that we can, make sure that a lot of other mums, can come into this campaign, can really be inspired. So that's the entire idea. Please do join us in our subsequent shows too, which we would be doing as part of the Mums Initiative. And thank you again. Have a lovely evening. You all can find the recording on the same link itself. So please feel free to share with your friends if somebody could not join. And very hoping that, Shikha, next time we would be able to have Renu with us on.
Yes, we can. And just before everybody leaves, I just want to say one thing: that conversations are great, but if they're in closed rooms, there's no point doing these anymore.
Yes.
Because they've been in closed rooms forever.
Yes.
We are creating platforms. We must share our views out in short clippings, and that's the only expectation I've been putting onto this show, is that we must share very boldly what we've talked about here. And Vidphone is supporting us and giving us those small clippings to share it in different platforms, so that even one mother calls us back and says, that really helped me move forward. We are out of the closed doors talking and going and doing this in a big way. And that's the whole intention of the show. So please make sure that people actually hear each other's point of view. And even the 100 shades I'm talking about, even that needs to go out. People need to start feeling as one, and the fact that we are being heard, and that's what the intention is. So thank you so much for everything.
Yes, and all of us are part of wonderful communities, so we can obviously reshare and really get in a lot of other moms out here. Thanks, Shikha. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you.
Thank
Pleasure
you.
was ours, Chitra. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Preeti.
Yeah. Bye.